All right, day 2 of Pintastic is nearly done, and I am here with Todd Tuckey, who had his seminar, which ran so long that it killed my battery, so I couldn't get the whole thing, and I had to delete what I had. But such is life. So Todd, nice seminar. I see you have come. I hear with the whole crowd trying to hold it together.
We and my 2 twins.
How you doing?
The twin boys, Timmy and Tommy.
Yeah.
Who also have a web. They have their own channel, Twins Arcade, on YouTube.
Twins Arcade.
Yes, sir. Twins Arcade.
Now, is that just the channel? Or do you own an arcade as well?
No, someday we'd like to, but we like this business just in general. So we go to different arcades. Of course, go along with Todd.
And Steven sort of has an arcade in his house. At your house. So
He's got a nice pinball shop.
But he's private.
See, all my games moved away when my sons moved out, so I'm an orphan, which makes my wife very happy. Oh, she says hello, by the way. I talked to her during the seminar.
I drove my wife nuts the other day.
See you mañana.
Not a good thing.
Oh, but it's a great story. We've been telling it for years.
It was a good story. You have to watch that video.
Yep.
And do you know the video? Can you put a link in up here?
I'd be happy to do it.
So, see my finger? When you click on that, you'll go to the video that we talk and meet this lovely wife.
You know what I've seen was great?
Yeah. I'll have to dig it out from through your archives. Danny remembers where it is. So, you had the seminar about buying pinball machines and avoiding clunkers, and with so many people with extra money because of the giveaways that took place and being at home and wanting to buy these things, it's got to be very difficult for people who are uninitiated to know what a pinball is actually worth, how bad, can it be restored, how much work does a game have to have.
If you find a pinball, the paint on the cabinet looks nice, okay? And you also look and you're able to lift the playfield up and you do not see chunks of rust. The mechanisms may be dirty. Don't confuse dirt with rust. But if you see general unrusty parts, you may be fine, because it's very difficult to fix rusty games. Dirty games can be cleaned very easily, but rusty games are difficult. They're really hard to clean.
So you want to watch out for water damage, you want to watch out for rust.
Water damage is easy to spot. The cabinet wrinkles, pieces of wood break off, that sort of thing. But a lot of times you get the rust factor is most of the time easy to spot.
And people seem to forget that a lot of these games, I mean, it's not like they're just 5 or 10 years old. A lot of these games that are here, for example, are 30, 40, 50 years old, and they've been maintained. But if you're buying a 40-year-old game, you've got to be sure that you've got a 40-year-old game that works.
Well, a lot of your customers, could you turn that down just a tiny bit? It's blasting us down there. It's hard to believe, but a game like Close Encounters of the Third Kind,
great game, by the way,
and they do have more than non-pizza. Thank you, Peter. Peter has brought me dinner,
and that's this Peter, not me, by the way.
You gotta keep him fed.
I am not the Peter who brought dinner. So.
What's up, man?
Should I take a bite right in front of you?
You can't be hungry.
My food's still sitting on a table over there because we're doing an interview now.
You left it. They may take it. Good night, young man.
Well, that's why I put my hat on the chair so people would know not to take it, because I haven't taken a bite. So, to summarize briefly, now the seminar will be up on the Pintastic site, but watch out for water damage.
Guess what? It's supposed to be on the TNT Amusements website, YouTube channel. Jillian was able to run it live. I haven't confirmed it, but you may be able to see it there too.
Now, obviously, COVID must have been a very tough time for you because you couldn't have the parties and such, but were you getting a lot of games in for repair?
Yes, because people were home all the time. We had dozens of calls for service. And our service guy would go in with a mask. They wanted the game fixed. They went in another room. Actually, that was better because when the guy hangs over the service guy, you get less stuff done because they're hanging. What are you changing this for? Is that part bad? You get all these silly comments. The beauty of the COVID, in this one case, of course, was that the people stayed in the other room while we fixed the game. But in other cases, people sent us games for overhauls and repair during the COVID. And that really helped us out too.
So you're able to keep that up. Now, in terms of new games, you know, people are buying, there's a lot of new game companies out, some beautiful new games out.
That's right.
How have you seen many of the new games coming in for repair, or are there things people should be looking out for?
No, the new stuff. See, remember, in the days of Close Encounters, the Addams Family, those machines were manufactured not to be in private homes. They were made to be used 7 days a week, in some cases 24 hours a day in some of these all-night places, and get hammered and played constantly. So people played those games year-round.
Yeah, but you don't.
In these arcades, beat the crap out of them.
Did you tell me that you?
By contrast, that was 99% of all games back in that era of the 70s, 80s, and 90s were in vending places. Starting in the 90s, they started to switch. More games went to private homes. And now, 99% of every brand new game sold goes into a private home. 99%. 99 of every 100 machines. Now, here's something interesting. You're a collector. How can you afford to buy a $6,500 brand new game? Guess what? Try renting it out. There's a company here at this show for $275. They'll rent you any new Stern pinball they have for a whole month. $275. They deliver it to your house. You play the crap out of it, whatever. They pick it up in a month. Maybe they'll exchange it for another one for another $275.
And I remember you mentioning in the seminar that when people buy games, they tend to play it heavily the first month or two, and then it dies out because the real life kicks in.
But if every month you got a new pinball, then you'd play the hell out of it the next month. And you play it out of the hell of it another one because you have 3 different games.
All right, I know you want to. I want to give you a chance to eat. But I want to ask one question, and your partners in crime can answer as well if they have an answer to it.
Go ahead.
Now you talk about game. You get a lot of games into service. Now, forgetting the quality of the gameplay, forgetting the design, forgetting quality and design, in terms of the gameplay. What is the machine that comes in for service the least? The machine that's most reliable.
Easy. That's easy. NE Gottlieb System 3. He stopped manufacturing in 96. System 3 started 88, 89 and stopped in 96. And they're the absolutely most dependable machines ever made, with the new exception being the new spike system that Stern introduced. Actually, the SAMI system.
Can you give an example of one or two of those machines that you were talking
2007 to 2014 was the SAM system. Extremely reliable, but it was an older system that used about the same amount of wiring that the older ones did. That was very reliable. I can count on one hand out of the hundreds of games we had where the boards failed, like 2.
That's pretty good.
Super reliable. But to run video real with a TV screen like an LCD monitor and all the new programming, all the new stereo sound, to do all that, they had to leave that system and go into something that could take an SD card. And that was the spike system that Stern adopted. Initially, there were some problems. They had to work the bumps out of the road. But now they're using something called Spike 2. Very reliable. You're going to have trouble. It's right out of the box. So once you get it out of the box and have it on for a few hours, if you're not having any trouble, you probably won't. And that can carry the picture, the data, and most important, the least amount of wiring in the game. So it uses telephone plugs, telephone wire, that connects the main board in the head to the first circuit board under the playfield. And then from there, there's small plugs and wires that run to the electronics. And another phone cable goes to the next board. So using the telephone cables, which have 6 wires in them, they can do the work that these old harnesses, tons of wires and light bulbs, that's all history now. Everything's now modular on the circuit boards. The downside is the board is not repairable. So when the board goes bad, you have to buy a new one. There's no way around it.
All right, well, Todd, thank you so much for your time. I'll let you eat and relax.
I'm gonna leave me alone now.
Yes.
No, you like the
Hope you
attention.
learned something. And listen, keep watching this man's channel. Click the subscribe button. See down here, right there in the corner. Subscribe. And then you click the like button. And then he'll be happy. And I'll be happy.
Well, let's all be happy together.
Adios, folks.